a little video here for the season so far. Maybe have a little bit of a talk about what's upcoming, and the main important thing which we're going to talk at the end about being the transfer window, which opens after your individual races this week. So if you're in F1, it'll open. If you're in F1, it'll open after the Thursday race, and if you're in GP2, it'll open after the Friday race. So team owners, keep your eyes out for that. I am joined in this whole debate or discussion, whatever you want to class it as, with Michael. So hello, Michael. It's my first time doing commentary. Well, not commentary, but talking to you in a video. So this is interesting. How you doing, man?
Oh, good. Just to make a Mr. Michaels, just to make that clear. You're gonna have to get that right from now on if we're going to continue doing this.
ATA Michaels.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Mr. Michaels. If you've got the Mr.
ATA Mr. Michaels. How's that for you?
Thank you. That's better.
You're welcome.
Maybe taking away the squeaky voice.
Oh, okay. We're taking away the squeaky voice then. Sure.
I'll bring it in every now and again. Keep it humorous. So yes, hello guys. I was going to say good evening, but it's not really evening when we're doing this. So although it could be evening when you're watching, but anyway.
Good morning, good afternoon,
yes,
good evening, good night, whatever it may be.
Yeah, this is kind of the beginning of a weekly sort of podcast, if you will, of stuff that me and Skyline are going to talk about. We're going to talk about the league, F1 stuff, real life F1 stuff maybe when the season kicks off once again. Might even drop a little bit of football in there because we're both football fans, possibly, maybe. Anyway,
Fighting shit. Football talked about. Move on.
Fair enough. But yes, let's get this discussion underway. Let's get on with the season so far, Ryan. And we had a slight discussion before we started this video. I know you have your little bits about the league as a whole, but in terms of in general, how do you think it has gone so far?
I mean, overall, it has improved. Like, we had a bit of a scrappy, rusty start to the season in GP2, at least, anyway. But in the last few weeks, it has improved, which is nice to see, because it's nice to see that the F1 league as a whole is improving and taking steps forward. Baby steps at times, but improvements nonetheless. Even expanding ATA into a Forza series, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Check it out on the website. But yeah, it's not the best season we've had, I don't think. I think the first season we had on 2016 was probably the best one, but this is the best season so far on this game because the motivation and the fights that, well, not fights as in physical fights, but the battles that we see are a lot more tenser than any other season, which is always great to see because the competitive side of people comes out, I find. So it's quite interesting.
Yes, the community. We've got a good community going on here, haven't we?
Hmm.
And
everyone helps each other. Someone's struggling. Like, if people want to do practice sessions, people get together and do one big practice session with each other. And if people don't want to practice, they just don't practice. They just turn up for the race, which fine either way.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the game has not helped. It is a lot better than what it used to be. Obviously, it had a lot of problems with it before the patches. We still, unfortunately, cannot add the safety car, which is still annoying. But the good thing is we are able to bring back the one thing that ATA stands for, really, is, well, the one unique thing about ATA is the full qualifying, because no other league, as far as I'm aware, uses that feature. So, well, no big one anyway. I know AOR doesn't use it, I know XRR doesn't use it, I don't think WF1 use it either. Those are the three I kind of know, if there are any others out there. Yeah, but yeah, it's good to bring that back. And the one other great thing for me personally is I think there's only been one situation this season in which Q1 has been irrelevant. I think that was Monaco GP2.
I think we've had two races. I seem to remember there being another one. I think there was a Bahrain race where we didn't have a Q1.
Yes. Was that GP2 as well?
I think it was F1. I don't think it was GP2. I think we had 16 for GP2.
No. But yeah, in terms of numbers, apart from the odd, GP2 Monaco race, which there was a lot of reasoning for that, we've had plus 15 in every race, which is brilliant. You know, it's brilliant to see people still constantly turning up and racing despite the problems they're having. In terms of your own championship, Ryan, briefly on yours. I mean, you're second place in the championship, I believe, after...
Third.
No, you're third. Third,
behind
because
Eagle.
you had a no score. Because you had a no score in Canada. How's yours gone so far? I mean, for me personally, apart from a no score in Bahrain and a no score Canada, you've been relatively consistent.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
I've been...
not entirely 100% happy, but consistent.
I've not been happy because of other drivers. Like my own races, I've been happy with. It's like behind the scenes stuff that annoys me more than anything. But that's all calmed down now. It's all been sorted and everything, which is nice. But championship-wise, fighting for points and that, I'm only 25 points off the lead because of obviously non-score finish in Canada. But HLG, who's leading it, you know, he has his weak tracks coming up, and some of his weak tracks are my stronger tracks, so I'm hoping to close that gap down to him. I'm not sure about Desert Eagle because I've never seen Desert Eagle have this much pace in a season. Like, he's normally mid-pack, so seeing him this high up the field is a pleasant surprise, I think I'll call it, because it is nice to have more than just 2 or 3 of us up there all the time. It's nice that the podiums are hard to grab, so to say. Like, even though I've been on the podium in most races, I've always had to fight for them. I think it's the best way to look at it. I think it's the same with you in F1, isn't it, though? You've always had to fight for your podiums. So I think your season's interesting as well.
But the problem with me at the moment is qualifying. It seems to be. I always seem to make a mistake every now and again. I mean, obviously, I think there's only been one time when I've been solidly into Q3, you know, into the top 10. And even then, that didn't go perfectly. I think it was Bahrain. I qualified 7th. Other than that, every session has had its problems. I mean, obviously starting 17th in... No, I think it was 16th in Australia and starting 17th in Canada. But the really weird thing is about that, Ryan, is that Australia, I finished in 2nd, and Canada, last time I finished 3rd. So...
It's almost like the worse qualifying you have, the better you finish in the race.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So maybe in the next race, if you don't qualify at all, like say if you crash out in Baku, you might win the race.
Well, the thing is about Baku, I'm looking at this week as a big opportunity. I am really quite fast around there. Even the castle section, you know, everyone is saying how they fear the castle section coming up this week. I don't fear it. I actually love that sector. I actually know how to, you know, go through it cleanly about 90% of the time. So I'm looking at that as being, you know, I'm determined not to make any mistakes in qualifying. I'm going to qualify in the fastest tyre, Ryan. I'm not using any of the harder tyres in any of the sessions. I'm just going to go out, do the laps, get it done, and go through, hopefully qualify near the front, and then be there in the race. So I'm looking at that, and the track's coming up, Ryan. I mean, obviously you were saying about HLG's one. I mean, we got still some really notable tracks coming up, including Silverstone, Hungary, Belgium, Monza,
Singapore.
Quite a few people are looking forward to Singapore. Yes, yeah, that's a big one as well.
I think Singapore's the big one that people are looking forward to most that's coming up, because I think all the star tracks that people love have already gone. Because people in career modes, like, the way I find it is that people in career modes start off the season, then they get bored of what they're doing in their career mode, then they end up starting again with a new career mode, and then they end up doing the same star tracks again. So I think people always prefer the starter tracks compared to the end tracks because they end up doing them more often, if that makes sense.
I find you weird saying that, but it's true for me as well. By the time I get to like Hungary, I'm like, oh, I'll just get the season over and done with, especially if I know I can't win it. So
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm the only person who's like this, but every time I get to Monaco, I'm just like, you know what, I haven't got the car for Monaco, I'm going to go to a car that's better for Monaco. Start off that career and it's like, yeah, this car doesn't quite feel right for Monaco either, I'm going to go to another one. So I always get up to Monaco and then stop.
I think there's something about Monaco you don't like it. But anyway, obviously you've got Frantic in F1 has a 73-point lead, which is... It's catchable still, because there's still plenty of races left, but he looks so so strong and
looks
consistent.
dominant.
Even with a race in Canada in which he had problems, he still managed to get sixth or something. So he's still there, and you know, my fight is personally for second best, to be honest, unless
Best of
I
the
start
rest.
winning races, and then unless I start winning races and Frantic has a few bad ones, and I could be right in there. But it's massively competitive, and I love it, so it's all good. And GP2 is fascinating to commentate and watch over. So I still have no idea who's going to win that. No idea who's going to win GP2. Consistency is going to be the key.
I think the thing is with GP2 is that when say the top three is me, HLG, and Eagle at the minute. Whenever HLG has a bad race, either me or Eagle have a good race. Then when Eagle has a bad race, me and HLG normally have a good race, and then when I have a bad race, the other two have a good race. So I always come across this strange feeling or strange thing where I never find myself battling both of them. We're battling for points, and we're both quite well. All three of us are quite close in points wise, but on track we're nowhere near each other half the time.
But that, I always say in a championship, it's not necessarily the amount of wins that you get.
Consistency.
Because obviously if you get like 6 or 7 wins throughout the season, then normally you should be at the front. But it's those races where something goes wrong. So it's races where, because you could, I don't know, disconnect during qualifying, you have to start at the back, or you get punted into turn 1 because of someone accidentally losing their brakes, and then you've got to climb your way through the field. It's races like that where you can somehow clamber something out of less. Say like you get dropped to the back of the field but still come up to say 5th. That is those races like that, rather than say if you're 30 seconds behind everyone else after that one, giving up straight away. That's not the attitude to go for. It's the attitude of because you never know. Even with no safety car, you absolutely never know what can happen. So it's getting points when they seem unlikely.
All you got to do is look at Russia with Ben. When he was leading the race, he was dominating the race, and then crashed.
Yeah. I think other examples. Desert Eagle in Canada. I really thought, being Canada, being the first lap shenanigans and all that, in the and the difficult and narrow first few corners, I thought 11th place, you're right in the thick of it. But he came through and managed to get a podium in that race, and that is a race of. If Desert Eagle ends up winning the championship of GP2, that race right there is one of those races where I'll say, right, he won the championship because of that. It's those times when you're outside the top 10 and you're in the thick of it, and you somehow pull through and manage to get a good result. So, which is something I don't think you or HLG have had yet. I think in all the races you've finished, you've been top 5 somewhere. You haven't had a poor showing in qualifying yet, touch wood. So it'd be interesting to see, for example, in Baku, for example, Brian, you start
crash down Q2.
Spain, what happened? Oh yeah, you're 10th place, and you came through to.
I think I got 4th.
Where did you finish that race?
Didn't I got 4th.
Yeah, you got 4th. Yeah, you did. Yeah, so that's reasonable.
And I also got involved in some
saying,
like chaos as well. I had to change my front wing.
Yeah, I'm saying something like if you start 15th or 16th, like that.
I think me and HLG have always qualified in the top 10.
Yeah, most of the time anyway. So yeah, that's enough about this current season, how it's going so far. I think we've gone on a bit too much about that, but we need to go into the big thing. Watch what I think everyone is keen about to hear, because a few people have been asking questions about how this is going to work over the next few weeks, and I think it's time to clear everybody's mind. So, and obviously, if you have any question whatsoever over this next coming week until the transfer window officially opens on Thursday for F1 and Friday for GP2, then don't hesitate to ask. Any question, if any of this seems confusing or unclear, then please ask away. So, you want me to go for it, or you, Ryan?
I mean, you confused people the way you said it because you got some of it wrong earlier on. So later on in the week,
You do it then. You do it then.
it's if you think about it, it is quite easy how it all goes along. It's only harder if you even think it. So just think basic, think simple, and you'll be able to follow along quite easily. But essentially, every driver is given a value. Say, if you look at your own value and you are valued at 10 million, the team owners will be approached and said, right, your driver is worth 10 million. What's your buyout clause on them? Now, the buyout clause is only allowed to go up by a further 10 million. So say someone's valued at 10, the maximum it can go is 20. If it's 11, the maximum it can go is 21. If it's 12, the maximum it goes 22. And so on and so forth. Or same backwards, if you're only valued at 8, it'll be 18, and if you're valued at 5, it'll be 15. So if you're valued at 10 million and your team owner puts a maximum, well, a buyout on you, so to say, of 20 million, and the team owner wants to buy you, they either pay the 20 million and just buy you straight out, and they'll approach you and tell and say, right, I'm willing to pay out your buyout clause. Are you interested in joining my team? You can say yes, you can say no. If you say yes, the negotiations carry on. If you say no, that's it, deal stopped. No more negotiations, that's it, done. But if you say yes, you're willing to move teams, then the team owner then goes back to his current team and says, right, I'm looking to bring in this driver, but are you willing to leave in a swap deal for this new driver to come in? If that driver says yes, that's the only time the deal can go ahead, when both drivers say yes. If someone says no, it doesn't go through. But if the team owner's not willing to pay the full 20 million and they want to try and negotiate a little bit, they can go up to the team owner of the driver and turn and say, I'm not willing to pay your full 20 million, can we negotiate? Is it negotiable? Would you take maybe even 1 million less? If the team owner says no, that's it, deal's gone. If they say they're willing to negotiate, you can negotiate as much as you like until a deal is confirmed, but it can't go over the 20 million. The buyout clause is the maximum that the driver value can go up to, so you can't pay more than that buyout. So say you negotiate with the team owner and then you say, I'm willing to pay 13 million, and that gets agreed on. That's then where you go back to when you do the buyout clause, you approach the driver says yes or no, you go back to your team, and then your drivers say yes or no to leaving. But the only way that a deal can be fully confirmed and fully happen is when, like, myself and Michael is informed that a deal has been agreed. Because then what me and Michael will do is we'll message the team owner, making sure that the other team owner is aware that it's going to happen. Message both drivers to make sure that they do both fully confirm to swap. And if it's all agreed on and we're aware what's going on and it's been completely agreed on and we allow it to happen, then it will go through. A driver can only be purchased though, however, once in the transfer window. So once you've been purchased, you can't move again. Not even in swap deals if you're willing to be swapped. So once you've been purchased, someone spent money on you, that's it. That's your new team for the rest of the season. However, if you're being the driver that's being exchanged for a driver who's being purchased, you can be swapped again. So if no one's paid money for you, you can move as many times as the transfer window allows. Until someone has physically bought you, then obviously that's when things become solid. But if you've been swapped around and you end up changing teams 2 or 3 times before the window closes, unfortunately that's just the way it is. It doesn't necessarily mean anything bad on your part. It's just you've obviously agreed to move teams more than once, so that's down to yourself to find a team that you're happy at and settle there and not move around like a bungee rope all the time. So yeah, I'd recommend to make it easier on us. Just try and move once a transfer window. Don't like jump from one car to another hoping for a better deal to come through and working your way up through the cars. Just keep it as simple as you can. If you're being put, like if your team owner comes back to you and says, right, I want you to be included in a swap deal, if you're not interested in moving to that team, just don't move. Just say no. But if you are willing to relocate and you're happy with the team that you're being offered to drive to, then yeah, I would say go for it. I think that's pretty much the base of it.
And that's pretty much the base of it. I stayed silent. There are a few little details I want to say about, but before we do, let's do like a little example, shall we say? We do an example. So,
okay, Michael,
let's say
we'll do like a little roleplay sort of thing. Michael, you act like that you're gonna try and get one of my drivers off me.
I wanted to avoid that word. I wanted to avoid that word, but yeah,
it's what it is, isn't it? Really, like me and
Michael
roleplay it. Yeah, Michael, you do it.
See now you know why I wanted to avoid it. Now you know why I wanted to avoid
creepy.
it.
Hey, Michael, how you doing,
example.
darling?
An examples. Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird.
I've already made it weird. So... I'm a bit late for that.
So right, Mr. Ryan.
I don't think you'll actually say that in a negotiation, but sure, why not? Yeah, carry on.
I would actually, but okay. Mr. Ryan, I'm interested in your driver, Honey Badger, in the F1 division. I noticed that his base value is 15 million. I'm going to offer you 18 million. Do you accept that?
No, I'd like a little bit more. I would like to go up. I can't remember what you said now. Did you say 18?
I said 18, yes.
18. I want to move it up to 20 if possible, if that's okay with you.
Okay, how about we go halfway? 19.
Okay, yeah. Who are you willing to offer in trade?
Matty GB. Because obviously I can't move because I'm team owner. So Matty GB. And he is willing to move to Mercedes.
Okay, so I will go and speak to my driver and see if he's willing to move. And then come back to you and let you know what the outcome is.
Fast forward 2 days later.
2 days later. Hello, Michael. My driver has said that he is willing to move to your team. So do you want to get this deal finalised?
Fantastic. Yeah, finalised and done. And seeing as we both are the people to decide it, then
Let's go to Martin and inform Martin to let him know to update the website.
Yes. Let's do that. Right, so
by the way, that's
everyone,
done deal. That's not actually
a
thing. We're not doing that. That's not actually a thing.
It's just an example to make things, clear. Right, so obviously I said that Honey Badger's base value was 15 million. Now, as Ryan said, every team owner can put a buyout clause of it, but it can only go maximum of 10 million. So for this example, the buyout clause would have been 25. So if I was willing to pay 25 million, which is, by the way, is a lot, considering, I would be able to use that. My money would obviously go down, and obviously that 25 million will go into Skyline's budget. But I will be able to go straight to Honey Badger and I will say to him, I have bought out your clause, your buyout clause. Are you willing to move to my team in Haas? And obviously he can say yes or no. Obviously if he says yes, then we can move on to the next stage where it's ask my own drivers whether they're willing to swap. If he says no, then it stops. That thing has to be made clear. If anybody, that's team owners, drivers, your own drivers, say no, it stops. It stops right there, because everybody has to be happy and agree with it.
If a driver does say no from a buyout clause, the person who was willing to pay the buyout clause does get their money back, just to clear up.
Yes.
So if deal doesn't go through, no money can only
go down, or in some cases up when a move is confirmed by either me or by Skyline. Now, in terms of money, because we've forgot to mention this as well, and this is a big thing because people are confused money. Why? Basically, since the start of the season, or since the, when we were doing the driver moves, even before we started racing, team owners were given a specific amount of budget. I think it was 30 million, was it, or 40 to begin with?
I can't remember how much it was to begin with. I think it was 40.
Yeah, they were given a certain budget to begin with. They bought their drivers in a transfer market, which we did right at the start of the season before we started racing. And whatever money they had left, and then their drivers over the course of the season, and it's been kept up to date by myself. Don't worry, I'm on it. Basically, every win you get wins you money, and even if you finish in 19th place, you're out the points. But once you finish, you still get money for your team. Plus, you get extras for pole position, fastest lap, and driver of the day. This is all being kept up to date and added to the team's budget. So everyone has a certain budget to play with. As an example, currently, bearing in mind I haven't updated after Canada, so don't worry, I'm on that. I'm doing that as soon as I finish this stream here. But for example, after Monaco, Toro Rosso has 32.7 million available. So yeah, basically each team has a certain budget to play with. Mercedes, which is your team, Ryan, doesn't have that much actually. So I don't know exactly what you're gonna do in the transfer window. You got a bit, but not a lot. So it'll be quite interesting.
You don't know what I'm doing, so
yeah, you don't have the lowest amount. Force India do. Force India do have the lowest amount at the moment.
How much do
But
I
yes,
have?
each team had 17.8.
More
That's
than I thought.
before Canada. That's before Canada, so you will get a little bit more, I think, because you did quite well. Yeah, so every team has had a budget. Every team owner will be told their budget basically some point today. So I will message every one of them to they'll be messaged privately to let them know what budget they have to work with and various things. I believe, Ryan, I'm right in saying every driver's value will be put on the website, right? So you can see what your value is. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in what your base value is, this is going to be based on championship position as well as your current potential, basically. So it'll be based on many things. So if you're leading the championship, for example, Frantique is in F1, his budget will be, or his value will be very, very high. So that's just the way it is, because obviously he's dominating F1 at the moment. So that's basically what it is. Yeah, two other things as well. Team owners cannot move
unless they relinquish.
Unless obviously they relinquish team owner priorities to another person in their team, which again has to go through either myself or Ryan or H or G. Yes. So if you do want to change team ownership, say like if you are a team owner and want to move cars, you have to relinquish team ownership first before you can move. Other than that, nobody can buy you, because obviously you want to stay at your team. Also as well, any completely new drivers, and they will be mentioned to everyone, any completely new drivers that have literally just joined the league either in Canada or much more recently, they are obviously exempt from the window. They cannot be bought because they've literally just joined, and it'll be confusing anyway. So they may be able to move by the end of the window, say, the last week or so, but they cannot move straight away. So just bearing in mind with that. But yeah, I think that is it. I think that's covered everything.
More or less, yeah. Like Michael said though at the start of the stream, if there is any questions, don't be afraid to ask around and try and get some answers. Don't leave yourself struggling if you have questions. Hopefully it is all clear to you, but if not, never be afraid to ask day and night. You might not get a response straight away, but be a bit patient with it, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Hurry out the best we can. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the whole season so far and how the transfer system's going to work. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see what happens. I think there's going to be absolute chaos during the transfer window, but we'll find out what happens with it. But
yeah, so I already know a couple of drivers that are willing to move, so it's going to be quite interesting to see where they end up.
There will be a page on the website of drivers who do want to move. That will be a thing. So team owners can find drivers who want to move on the website. But yeah, it'll, as long as everything gets agreed on, just let us know that you've confirmed a transfer and we'll finalise it. But I'm going to do a little plug again. If you're interested in joining the Forza 7 League, just look on the website, sign up on the website. There is a little subtitle there now that does say Forza 7, and the main one that we're doing at the minute is the Three Giants or something like that. I can't remember. And there is another touring car event coming soon, which should be updated either later on today or tomorrow. So if you're interested in joining any of them races, you need to sign up to them. If you're not signed up to them, you're not racing. So you might have to get registered to the website, log in onto that. But yeah, Forza 7 plug finished. But yeah, I had to, Mike. I had to.
Yes.
Come on, let's be honest. We're expanding 88 Forza. I had to.
That's all right. Yeah, just one more thing. As we said, if you're completely adamant and you definitely want to leave your team in F1 for whatever reason, I know there are a couple, then you have to mention to your team owners plus us, and then we can put you on the list on the website to let everyone know that you are looking for new pastures. So other than that, everyone is negotiable. What's the word? Thank you. That word. Everyone is open to talks to moving cars, obviously apart from ones that have recently joined the league.
That's not many drivers. That's only like maybe 2 or 3 drivers. So there's still a lot of people.
That's like 2 or 3, yeah.
So
of course, team owners.
Get busy.
And of course, owners can't move. So
get scouting. Look at points. Look at the championships. See if there's anything you want to improve. And if there is, go do it. Keep us entertained. Do something straight away on the first day just to kick it all off. Why not?
Make our head go messed. You know,
if we're
that's your
confused and we
mission.
don't know what's going on, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah. Right, so yeah, that's it. Obviously, get your practicing in for Baku as well, because that'll be coming up, the Castle Section of Doom.
Do all your crashing in practice as well. So if you do your crashing in practice, you might not crash in the race. So do all your crashing in practice, all your major wheel losses and all your major front wing losses. Do all that in practice, and it doesn't happen in the race. That's why.
Right, so you got the Castle Section of Doom, the Straight of Dreams, which is the front straight.
The chicanes of death.
The right hand flick. Right hand flick, which is on that straight, which is actually, the Castle Section of Doom. I actually think the more dangerous corner is that right flick in the straight.
What, the left right chicane, right hand on that?
Yeah,
that is a pretty dangerous corner because you're going so quick, and the change of momentum, the weight of the car can get upset a little bit. So that is actually a good shout.
Weather is absolutely treacherous.
No, don't talk about rain. It's not raining, Michael. It's not raining. Shut up. It's not raining.
Might do.
It's not gonna. Shut up.
All right, but I think that covers everything. So let's finish things off.
Yes. Well, we hope to see as many as you as possible on Thursday and Friday this week. Obviously, it will be streamed as always by Martin and Dom on Thursday, Michael and some random person who probably doesn't exist yet on Friday. I said they probably do exist, they just haven't been announced yet. But yeah, join us for them races, and we'll look forward to seeing you on them days. Good luck to all of you around Baku. Hope you all have a good race, and I hope you all have a good week. And yeah, peace, I guess. Peace. Michael?
I was expecting you to end it just now.
You was meant to say bye as well, motherfucker.
Bye. Professional as always.
Professional as always. Hashtag professional, not. But anyway, bye.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. I'm leaving the stream there. Bye. Just fuck off.